welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted in a little bit, but I've been wanting to post something like this for a little while, and I wasn't really sure how to go about it. Basically, over the last 10 to 15 years of my life, I've learned a lot about life. I've been through a lot. I have come out of a lot. I've struggled with a lot. I've faced a lot of challenges. I've gone through traumas. I've hurt. I've healed. I've recovered. I've rebuilt my life several times over. And without going into the depth of it, I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that I have learned from life and from surviving traumas. A lot of it has come from surviving traumas in different ways in different aspects of life. So hopefully maybe this might help someone somewhere out there. But I would love to know how you guys have recovered from things in your life, how you have come through things, what lessons you've learned in life, and what lessons have you learned that have kind of really stuck out as some of the most important things that you have learned from going through really difficult things. So yeah, I just have like a list in front of me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go through them and let me know what you think. Okay, so the first one is the only thing that we can control is ourselves, which is so important and has taken me a long time to learn. I don't know why it took me so long to learn it, but it took me a long time to learn that we have absolutely no control over anything beyond us. We are the only thing we control. We control ourselves, we control our thoughts, we control our actions and our reactions, and that's it. We can't control anything else. Our life is all about how we react and how we control ourselves. So the only thing we can control is ourselves. The skills of survival are not the skills we need to thrive. This one took some learning. A lot of this came from relationships for me. I was in a really, really awful relationship which was really traumatic and left me really traumatized and left me with a lot of hurt, a lot of healing that I had to come out through the other side. And as I went into a much better relationship, a much healthier relationship, even with my friends, not just romantically, I was beginning to notice that the things that the skills that I had taught myself in order to survive a traumatic relationship were no longer the skills that I needed in order to thrive in a good relationship. So that was a huge learning curve for me, and it's the same with life generally, how the skills that I had developed in order to survive the life that I had been living were no longer the skills that I needed in order to thrive and push myself forward and rebuild that life that I really, really wanted. So the skills of survival are not the same skills that we need to thrive. So once we've survived it, once we've got through that, it's time to park those skills and it's time to start learning a whole new set of thriving life building skills. So if we don't believe we deserve something, we might as well tell the universe that we don't want it. This is a huge one. This is massive. For anyone that knows me, I am all about put it out into the universe. I am all about the law of attraction. I am all about putting the thoughts out there and what we think we become. And what comes back from so many people are like, oh, it didn't work for me. And so many people have a habit of telling me how lucky I am. It's not about luck. I have rebuilt my life several times over, and most of the things falling into place have come because I've removed that block of not believing I deserve it. So once I believed that I deserved a certain way of life, a certain relationship, a certain job, a certain whatever it is, once I really truly believed that I deserved it, it's more likely to find itself to you. But if you say that you want something but you don't actually believe you deserve it, deep down you basically telling the universe you don't want it, and therefore you won't get it, or you're not as likely to get it. So yeah, if we don't believe we deserve something, we might as well tell the universe that we don't want it. Okay, so society's opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't. Society can go fuck itself. I'm writing a whole thing at the moment about deconstructing the structure of society. Society's opinion doesn't matter. Society's opinion is only made up of all the people who are following all the other sheep. And it's just like this self-fulfilling prophecy of people just repeating the same mistakes over and over. Society's opinion does not matter. The only opinion that matters is your opinion. The only opinion that matters about yourself is your opinion. Period. That's it. Society's opinion does not matter. What you don't change, you choose. This one was huge for me last year. This one was massive. And it really started making changes in my life in the last kind of 9 months or so, maybe. And when I first saw that written down, I think it was on a Pinterest post, it really hit me. And it is that reminder that everything is a choice. Even the things that you don't change, you're choosing to not change them. So everything in your life is a choice when it boils down to it. If you choose not to change things, you're choosing to let them stay as they are, which is a pretty big pill to swallow. That's tough to swallow, and it can be really difficult to hear, especially if you're in a difficult situation. And it's massive and it's difficult, and that doesn't mean that it's easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So what you don't change, you choose. Okay, the next one, everything we need is inside us. We just have to find it and use it. That was a massive learning curve for me. Knowing and believing and understanding that everything that I need in life, everything that I need to survive in life, everything that I need to thrive in life, everything that I need to find happiness, to find love, to find peace, to build a world and a life that I want, everything that I need is already inside me. I just have to find it and use it. All of the strength and love that you need to build the life that you want is inside you. It's all there. Everything is right there. You just have to tap into that, and it's difficult and it's tough, but it's all there. Everything is right there. So that was a huge lesson for me, and putting it into practice is the next step. So acknowledging it and then really finding it and using those skills and tools that you have to move forward. Being selfish and making choices for your own happiness is not a bad thing. Yeah, there is a lot of misconception around the word selfish. It has a lot of negative connotations, and I think it's really important right here to just point out that when I say selfish, I mean making choices that are right for you, putting yourself first. We've been trained, especially women, but across the board, we've been trained by society to put other people first, and that it's more important to look up after other people before we look after ourselves. That's a whole pile of bullshit. That is a pile of bullshit. Try erase that thought process from your mind, because that is a pile of crap. If we don't look after ourselves first and make sure that we are happy, as long as we're not harming anybody else, as long as we are happy in who we are, we can be the best versions of ourselves going forward. We can be the best versions of ourselves for everybody around us. If we are happy and we are making choices that are right for us, it will have positive influence on the people around us. If we're putting other people first before ourselves and we're burning ourselves out, we're only looking after them short term. We're only being the best versions of ourselves for them short term. It is so important to put yourself first. And with that, the second half of that was being selfish and making choices for your own happiness. You are not pizza. You cannot make everybody in the world happy. It's not possible. So we only get one chance at this life. We want to live the best, happiest, most fulfilled version of this life that we possibly can. Therefore, making choices that are right for us is so, so, so important. I made some massive choices over the last 10 years, and other people were hurt because it meant cutting people out of my life, cutting situations out of my life, making space in my life for other more amazing, more fulfilling things to come in. And making those choices was really, really hard. But you know what? At the end of the day, those were the right choices for me to make. And society can't tell me that I'm not valid, I'm not worthy enough to make those choices. I make choices that are right for my happiness, and that is not a bad thing. Again, when we are happy and we're looking after ourselves, we can be the best versions of ourselves for the people around us. So being selfish and making choices for your own happiness is not a bad thing. Get that out of your head. My next one, grown-ups don't always have the answer. They don't. Grown-ups do not always have the answer. Grown-ups very often don't have the answers. And I think that's a huge thing, is that the more I learn, the more I realize that I don't know. And that's an anti-ego thing. If you think you know everything, and you don't ever like being told that you're wrong, you have an ego problem, and you need to get rid of that, because you will never grow, you will never develop if you don't kick that ego. So kick the ego out of the way, get rid of it. We don't want egos around. We want to be able to grow. We want to be able to be better. So as a grown-up, and particularly I work with kids an awful lot. A huge percentage of my work is with teenagers and with children. And one of the biggest things I had to learn was that grown-ups are not always right. They do not know everything. And quite often, as the grown-up in the room, I have to be aware of that. As the grown-up in the room, I have to go, do you know what? Just because they're younger than me, or they have less life experience than me, or they're at a different stage than me, does not mean that they're not right, and it does not mean that they're wrong and I'm right. So grown-ups don't know everything. Just because someone has more life experience doesn't mean they know everything. If people are coming from a place where you know that they don't necessarily understand a situation and they're just talking out of their arse, don't even pay attention, because grown-ups don't know everything. Okay, that was a big thing to learn. We're all flawed. We can only get better when we realize this. This kind of loops back into grown-ups don't know everything. We're all flawed. We all have problems. We all have flaws. We all have things that we need to work on. Nobody is perfect. But in order to work on these things, we have to acknowledge that we are flawed, that we are not perfect, that we have weaknesses, in order to become stronger and better at life, at work, at relationships, at everything. In order to be the best versions of ourselves, we have to improve. And we can only ever improve if we acknowledge that we have weaknesses in the first place, if we acknowledge that our strengths aren't where we want our strengths to be. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can ever be perfect. We are humans. We are flawed. That's the point. So if you think that you're perfect and you don't need to change, check your ego, because that's your ego talking, not your true self talking. So yeah, we're all flawed, and we can only get better when we actually realize this. We have the power to make the life we want a reality. We have the power to make the life that we want a reality. That's a big one. We have the power to make the life that we want a reality. We do. It goes back to what we said earlier about everything, the power that we need for everything is already inside us. We have the power and the strength to achieve and create whatever we want. It's up to us to tap into that and to use it, to acknowledge it, to use it, and to apply it to our lives. We have the power to create whatever we want. We just have to have the strength and the courage to do it. No dream is too big. No dream is out of reach. If you really, really want it, you can get it. You can use your own power and your own mind and your own thoughts and your own actions to get there. Nothing is out of reach. We can create the life that we want because everything that we need is already in here. The world, I can't talk. The word should is always a red flag. This was a massive learning curve for me last year. The word should pops into our minds so freaking often. I should be happier. I should be more grateful. I should be this. I should be doing that. The word should, if the word should is coming up in your head about something, it is a red flag that you need to sort some shit out, right? There was a massive thing last year. There was a lot of, I had so much of that in my head. I should be happy. There was so much, that thought was a thought that consistently circled my head for so long. I should be happy. And it was only when I really sat down and thought about it and I went, hang on, if I'm saying I should be happy, that means that there is something that's not right in me not being happy. And that's something that I have to fix. So saying that you should be anything is a red flag to check in with yourself, ask yourself what the flaw is, what the problem is, what the challenge is, and find a way to break through, find a way to overcome that. That should is telling you to stop and to think. So should, the word should is always a red flag, always. Everyone gets it wrong sometimes. C'est la freaking vie. C'est la vie, baby. Everyone fucks up sometimes. We all get things wrong. But you know what? That is part of life. Part of life is making mistakes. If we don't make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, how the hell are we ever going to learn to be better? How the hell are we ever going to figure out the better way of doing things or the better way of approaching things? How are we ever going to do that if we never make mistakes in the first place? Mistakes are the best teachers ever. We learn the lesson very quickly when we screw up. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes. We all do it. If you screw up, it's fine. Just try something else. Try it a different way. Do it again and do it again until you get it right. We all screw up and that's okay. We've been taught a lot in society that making mistakes is bad. That's bullshit. Making mistakes is one of the best ways to learn. So better to have tried and failed than not have tried at all, because at least you know what you've made your mistake on and at least you've learned a lesson. So everyone gets it wrong sometimes. Never judge anyone for getting anything wrong, because we all do it and nobody is perfect. The people who love you will always find ways to make it known. The people who really care about you and who really, really love you will find ways to remind you that they care. And those who don't, those who you feel like you're always chasing after, those are the people who don't massively care. Those are the people who have you around to bulk out their friendship, or because you're a good catch in a relationship, or you're just part of the family, or you're just one of the work colleagues because you're the one that gets things right. Whatever it is, if people actually love you, they will make it known to you and you will know. You won't have to go searching for it. You won't have to go asking for it. When people love you, they make it known. If you love someone and you haven't made it known in a while, reach out to them. Tell them that you care. Get over that feud. Get over those issues that you had. move forward, tell them you give a shit about them, and get over it. Because it's so important. And it's important to be reminded that those people, that we are important to those people, and that those people are important to us. Okay, so the people who love you will always find ways to make it known. Your choices don't always need a reason. It's no longer right for me is enough. We don't always have to explain ourselves. In fact, you never should have to explain yourself to anyone. We need to understand reasons ourselves, but as long as we understand the reasons for the choices that we make and we know that they are the right decision, it's the right decision. We don't have to justify it. We don't have to explain ourselves. We don't have to go out of our way to make sure that everybody around us understands. We just have to know that people that we care will be there no matter what our choices are, and that the people around us who love us want what's best for us, and making decisions that are best for us without having to explain is part of finding who you really are and what you really want in life. So your choices, they don't always need a reason. It's no longer right for me should be enough. It's no longer serving me. Shed it. You know, we go through life carrying so much baggage with us. And yeah, sometimes it's really, really, really hard to let it go, to let things go. But if you visualize your life as a shipment crater, so you've got this giant crate, and your entire everything that you want to carry through with you in life can fit into that crater. But you can choose when to let things out, so when to make space for new things to come in. If by the time we're 20, that is just chock-a-block and we never let anything go out, or every year we just try and stuff more stuff in, there's only a finite amount of space. If we don't clear out space, how will we ever be able to fit more things in? How will we ever make space for the better, more beautiful, amazing, empowering things to come into our life? If we surround ourselves with people who really don't give a shit about us and we never clear that out, how will we ever make space for all of those people in our life who are so important, who are going to come along and change our lives, who are going to come along and teach us so much more about life? If we fill our life with all of those crappy jobs and those awful relationships and all that crappy shit that we don't need to carry around with us, if we just keep cramming all of that in, those crappy mindsets, that crappy thought process, those shit books that just remind you how awful you are, how are we ever going to make space for all of the beautiful books, for all the amazing people, for all of the incredible experiences? Sometimes we just have to let things go. Clear out your memories, clear out your mindset, learn your lesson, let it go. Make space for the new to come in. So, yeah, so that just all goes back to your choices don't always need a reason. Okay, the next one is like attracts like. Be the person you want as a friend. This was kind of a big one for me. Not because I didn't particularly like me as a person, because I wanted to be a better person, a stronger person, but I also wanted to surround myself with people who had the same mindset as me. And that was just really important to me in life as I was moving forward in life, as I wanted to be able to build in life. It was just really important to me to be able to surround myself with the right kind of people. And they say vibe your tribe, right? So you put those energies out there, and that energy, those people with that same energy will find their way to you. And that was a huge thing for me, because as I truly started turning into the person that I wanted to have as a friend, that I would want to have in my life, the type of person who would be the type of support that I want, who would be the type of friend that I wanted to be, that would have the type of non-judgmental attitude that I wanted. When I slowly started to really consciously mold myself into that person that I would want to have as a friend, my world began to shift in really attracting those people who really, really care about me. And I have such an amazing, incredible, powerful, empowered network around me, both online and physically as well. And it has literally changed how, these people have literally changed how I view myself, how I view the world, how I approach things in life, and have boosted my courage to be able to be that extra level of person. We encourage each other to level up. We encourage each other to be that extra level of better every single day. And those are the type of people that I want to have around me. They're all very different. They're all very versatile. They come from every different walk of life. Some of them are locals. Some of them are online. Some of them are like thousands of miles away. But we all make sure that we each level up. And those are the kind of people that I wanted around me. So yeah, like attracts like. What you put out there comes back to you. So be that energy that you want attracted to you as well. And that goes for relationships as well. I think when we become the person that we truly believe that we deserve to be, I truly believe that we will attract that extra, that person with the extra that we feel vibrates on the same level as us. And I think that's really important in relationships as well as friendships and work relationships and everything. We choose what we give power to. We become our thoughts and our feelings. This was humongous. I learned this a good few years ago. And this literally changed my life completely and utterly. I was coming out of a really traumatic experience, a really bad abusive relationship that almost destroyed me, and I was struggling a huge amount with depression. My anxiety, which I still manage, was becoming a huge problem for me. I struggled to leave the house. There was just so many things happening in my life, and I literally just wanted to shut myself into a little black box and stay there and never get out. And this concept of we choose what we give power to because we become our thoughts was life-changing for me. I had to stop and think and notice what my thoughts were. What was I giving time to? What was I allowing to consume me? What was I just letting sit inside me and grow inside me instead of noticing it, acknowledging it, processing it, and moving it on so that it wasn't consuming me, so it wasn't taking a hold. So I was just processing it and shoving it on. Leave it in the past. Accepting it, processing it, and moving on. That became such a massive part of my life, and completely transformed the way I see myself, the way I approach life now. And it's changed even in work things, you know. If something has been really negatively all-consuming, if something has gone really wrong at work over the last few years, and you kind of feel yourself getting consumed by the frustration and the anger and the blaming and the guilt and all the things that went wrong when things exploded, you just get so sucked in by that explosion sometimes that it becomes all-consuming, and you just become that negative energy of complaining and grumbling and giving out and being unhappy, instead of going, do you know what, this happened, let's learn the lesson, let's take what we need from it, let's figure out what we need to not do next time so it doesn't happen again, and then let's just let it go. Let's leave that in the past. Let's bring the lesson with us. Let's leave that in the past. I'm done now. This is the last day I'm talking about it. Finished. In Kenya we say Kazikwisha. I don't know what the English translation of that is. Kazikwisha, done. Let it go. We leave it in the past. And if it starts to creep back in again, all of those feelings start coming up again and going, no, do you know what? I've dealt with that. That is in the past, and I'm not putting time to that. I'm not letting that consume me again. That is so powerful. That is so important in our life, in constructing our life. It's invaluable to be able to do that. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes conscious effort to be able to do that, and we spend our whole lives consistently working on that habit. It can start as small as don't complain about anything for 24 hours. Don't complain about anything for 24 hours and notice how good you feel. because you're not giving time and space to negative energy. And it is so important. We become what we think. If we think positively, if we think in a constructive way, we become those thoughts. We become that. That's what our life becomes, is positive, empowered, and blessed, because that's what we're giving time to. So we choose what we give power to. We become our thoughts. So important. I have here, Disney teaches us more about life than we realize. Magic is real. We are so often taught that magic is not real, that Cinderella was just a fairy tale, that doesn't happen. That happens. Transformations of magic happens. We just have to believe that we deserve it. We have to tap into that power in our own self to make that happen. Magic happens. Our worlds can change. Our worlds can transform. We can go from cleaning floors to running an empire. We can do that. We just have to believe in ourselves enough to get there. So magic is real. Disney teaches us so much. I am super obsessed with Disney, and Disney Plus is a thing now that everyone should have. This is not sponsored by Disney, by the way. My last one, which I just think this is massive, and it's kind of poignant that it's that it's my last one on the list. Be yourself unapologetically and let that light shine. This year, I have been more myself than I have ever been in my life. This year, I have truly allowed myself to come out of that shell, not because anybody wants me to be that person, not because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm living up to anybody else's expectations, not because I want someone else to be proud of me. I am truly allowing myself to be me, and nobody else's opinions really matter. You know, my mom gets to call me on my shit. She's basically the only one that can do that. I am me, unapologetically me. If I want to be a unicorn, I'll be a damn fucking unicorn. I can be whoever I want to be, and I'm not going to apologize for being that person. And when you let yourself do that, you release an incredible power out into the world. You release a beautiful shining light out into the world that you can't even imagine until you've done it. When you allow yourself to be you, unapologetically you, embrace it and unleash it into the world, you will notice your life change. You will feel your life change. Every time you walk out your door, you will feel like a new person. Every day is different. Every day is exciting, but you know that regardless of what gets thrown at you, you are being you. You are doing life on your terms. And that is what will lead you to building the life that you love, that you deserve, and that you desperately, desperately want. So I hope that these are helpful to somebody somewhere. It's not, and like the list could go on and on and on of all the things that I've learned in life, but these, when I just sat down, were like, what were the most important things I've learned in life? These are the ones that really just jumped out, and are the ones that I keep saying to people all the time. I always say them to all my friends. These are the ones that I repeat to people over and over and over again when they're struggling with anything in their life. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody somewhere. If you know anybody that's going through a difficult time or is just stuck in a rut at some point or whatever, please do share this with them, because this could be helpful in helping them realize what they deserve and what they're capable of, which I think is really important. So thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this far, I really, really appreciate it. If you like the video, go ahead and like. I would love to hear other people's opinions and other people's life lessons that they've learned along the way. If you want to put them into the comments below, or DM me on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever, I would love to hear people's opinions. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay home, unless you're watching this like 365 days from now, and I'm really hoping that the pandemic is over and we're back to a beautiful, amazing reality. But stay safe, stay home for now, and have a beautiful and amazing weekend, because it is Thursday when I'm recording this, so God knows when you're going to watch this. But have an amazing weekend and have an amazing life. Thank you so much for watching.